What's up, guys? Before we get into today's episode, just want to give you a quick reminder that we have some fun new 4-year anniversary celebratory totes that we came out with. These are our Therapy is Hot totes, and they're black with an orange flame and just so much fun. And Taryne and I are just so excited and stoked that you guys have been with us for 4 years.
Yes, so go ahead and head to our website. We have a couple fun things on there if you're feeling frisky, want to buy some stuff. And we just are so beyond thankful for all the support for all these years.
Actual literal years. So stop what you're doing, head over to our website and get yourself a new tote.
I know I am not alone when I say I'm looking forward to doing some spring cleaning this year. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Whether you're dusting those hard to reach places or cleaning out that closet, you know the one, we all have it. Here is my other advice. Clean your house and then protect every inch of it with Simply Safe Home Security. We recommend it to everyone.
I am so happy with Simply Safe. I think protecting your home is one of the best things you can do, especially as someone who lives alone. Sleeping can be hard, and I sleep like a baby because Simply Safe is protecting my home. And if you don't know about Simply Safe, let me break it down for you. Simply Safe is designed with cutting-edge technology and backed by 24/7 professional monitoring. In an emergency, agents use Fast Protect technology only from Simply Safe to capture critical evidence and verify that the threat is real, so you can get priority police dispatch. And I've never heard about that anywhere else.
Customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplysafe.com/advice. Go today and claim a free indoor security camera plus 20% off your order with interactive monitoring. That's simplysafe.com/advice. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Today's episode of Unsolicited Advice with Ashley and Taryne is sponsored by BetterHelp. You guys know how passionate we are about getting help when needed, and we think therapy is something that is so valuable. And we always are honored to partner with BetterHelp because it is just a place that meets your needs wherever you are. I started using BetterHelp in 2020, and it drastically helped me get through a really rough time. So I cannot recommend enough.
If you're thinking of starting therapy, definitely give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. I'm not kidding, guys. They will meet you where you're at. If you want to do a phone call, a video chat, you can chat with them online. You can do whatever you want from the comfort of home. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. And here's the best part. You can switch your therapist at any time for no additional charge.
Discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/unsolicited today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/unsolicited. Kayla, does my hair look fine? Okay. I woke up with a little cowlick.
I do not see the spot. Can that be the
R.I.P.
intro? That was great.
We need to.
She knows you so well. She knew exactly what you were looking out for.
It's not a specific spot, but that 2 episodes. We need to look back, and I just want to post like a screenshot of it.
Wait, can we actually post it? Because you've worked so hard to hide it in every episode.
No, I work hard to prevent that from happening.
Yeah.
But it happened, and it's funny. But if I can not show my scalp during the whole episode. And what's really sad is I spent so much time that day curling my hair. Mm-hmm. And I never do my hair. So the fact that I had done my hair and I obviously just didn't separate my curls enough.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's what was so funny about this specific instance of your scalp showing on camera was because normally I'll be like, well, Taryne, you probably should have done your hair. But this was one of those days where you had done your hair.
I look so nice. And then you just see this like shiny white spot just like staring. And we recorded 2 episodes that day.
It was back to back. And if you guys want to go check it out, you should go look
It'll
for
be on the
Taryne
internet
scalp on YouTube.
With all of my other embarrassing moments just for everyone to see.
Hello.
Love technology.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Unsolicited Advice. I'm Ashley.
I'm Taryne.
And we're here to advise you as per usual.
Yeah.
We're doing great. I woke up in a great mood today. And I I think it's because Taryne spent the night last night.
I was going to say, who was in your bed?
Yeah. We we just like literally did nothing last night. We had every intention of like sitting on the couch and like watching a show or a movie, and like ended up not watching anything because we just talked the whole time. And then my dog, Chloe, my little Shih Tzu, my little shit.
Can we please post
the photo,
the video of her where her like tongue is out and she looks super drugged, because that was so funny.
She had to go. She's fine. She is healthy and well, but she had to go under for some surgery. She had to get some teeth pulled, and then she's at that age where dogs get like little bumps, so she had to get one of those removed, and she is just down bad right now.
Yeah, she's not doing too hot.
She's not doing great. So she has the cone of shame on, and it was sad. So me, Taryne, and Chloe were all in bed together, and we had every intention again of like watching a movie. Like at first it was going to be a movie, and then I was like, okay, let's do a show, and then it was getting later, and I was like, hey, a lighter show. Let's do like Great British Bake Off, and we didn't even watch that. Like we just kept talking the whole time.
Yeah.
So it was so fun.
Which leads me to your story about how Ashley shattered my hopes and dreams last night. So I feel like yeah, you're gonna laugh because you'll know what I'm talking about in a second. This is like the perfect. If I had to just like show an instance of like our friendship and the difference between me and you, this would be it.
I don't even know where you're going with this.
So we're laying in bed. Ashley's like getting tired. I start watching a video on my phone, and it's just like this girl talking, and it's just like whatever. I'm just like watching it. It's going, and Ash turns and she goes, "I love talking." And because I'm always just seeking any ounce of attention and affection from Ash,
validation.
I look at her and I reach out, and so sweetly I like put my arm on her arm. I was like, "I love talking to you too."
But like full picture, I hadn't finished talking yet. Like I said, I love talking. And then Taryne immediately, like I went to take a breath, and Taryne immediately goes, "I love talking to you too." And I was like,
I'm not Nayday.
Shoot. That's not at all.
It was so funny though, but she couldn't just throw me that bone. She had to sit there and be like quiet, and then she starts giggling, and I look at her, I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "I was just gonna say, like, I love talking to like fall asleep to, like your video." And I was just like, "Oh." And then we just both died.
I love, like, nothing makes me fall asleep faster than listening to like a monochromatic podcast or like a video where they're just kind of like casually talking. There's not a lot of like emotion.
Yeah.
It's like sitting in a classroom for me. Like, it just immediately puts me to sleep.
It gets you. Wow.
And that's what I was trying to say before Taryne interrupted me, because she thought I was,
being lovey-dovey.
complimenting her.
I
probably wouldn't have said anything except for how funny it was.
No, it was funny.
Because then I started laughing, and then I had to tell her the truth. So I'm so sorry I shattered your hopes and dreams.
Nana.
But anyways, all that to say, I woke up in a very great mood, and I woke up singing Hillary Duff.
Yeah, you did.
Like in my head. Like it was like the first thing that came in my head, and I just woke up and I was thinking of like Cinderella's story, and then I looked at Taryne and I was like, "Did you ever listen to Hillary Duff as a kid?" And she goes, "Of course." And I was like,
"What kind of question is that?"
I just wanted to confirm.
Our era, every girl
listened to. She was my Miley. So I immediately put on the song. Because, when you wake up and you like hear that song in your head, you have to play it to like get it out of your system. Well, it's not out of my system. I'm still thinking about it right now.
No, we listened to it in the car too.
And it put me in the best mood, and I'm having just a great day, and I just want to share that.
Yeah, you definitely are, Ash. You definitely are.
Are you not?
I'm having a great day. Our sleepover.
Because I thought we were on the same page.
No, our sleepover was so fun. I love when we both. I feel like it's rare that we both are. I think we both are very easily swayed to do whatever the other person wants to do. Mm-hmm. So, like, how certain friends, like, you go and they're like, "No, I want to go out." And you're like, "Oh, I'm tired." And they're like, "No, get your clothes on. We're going out." Like, me and you are so easily, like, if I walk in and I'm tired and you're like, "Oh, do you want to go out?" I'll be like, "Okay." Or if you're like, "Hey, can we just, like, not go and chill on the couch?" I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And, like, you're the same. So it was just so funny because the whole night you'd be like, "Let's do this. actually, what if we do this? Actually. And so I just was like, kind of just like following you around.
What's funny is the original plan was for you to come to an event with me. And then I messaged you like late the night before and was like, hear me out.
Hear me out.
I don't want to go anymore. But then we were recording our episode extra early today. So I was like, why don't you come spend the night anyways?
Yeah.
So you don't have to like deal with traffic and you can come like later. And so anyways, it worked out. We had a fun sleepover.
Yeah,
and
we did.
That's all. That's the end of my story.
The end of the
my
story.
great morning story.
I feel like I'm like always talking about doctor stuff, but I had another incident.
Taryne health update.
Dude, dear God, I should start like a health podcast. That's just like, here's how to avoid narrowly dying.
Yeah.
But no, so my family had like the weirdest thing passing through everyone. Like everyone got it. And all it was like no other symptoms except your throat. And it was like tonsils, your uvula. What's it called?
I think that's right.
Uvula.
Uvula.
The little punching bag thing. Super swollen to the point where like literally like when you're talking you sound like someone who has like tonsillitis. And it's just like sore to like swallow and whatever, but there's nothing else, just fever and that, right? So every single person who got it went into the doctor, got antibiotics, within a day was better.
Yeah.
So I started feeling it, and it's so specific, right? Like I've had strep throat, I've had COVID, I've had the flu. It's not that. Like, it's very specifically just that swollen feeling.
Right.
So I go into the doctor, and I don't know if you've been in a doctor's office recently, but there are like 50,000 signs that say like antibiotics are not for everything. Like, what's the difference between, and I get it. Like people go in and they're just like, give me antibiotics, I feel sick. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
But at
you
the
want
same
your
time,
immunity system to learn how to fight something.
Absolutely,
I understand.
Absolutely. But at the same time, like I was like being so specific. I'm like, you don't understand. Every single person is the same exact thing. Like blah, 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 blah. They still made me do like 20 tests. I was gagging left and right because they kept sticking cotton swabs down my throat. I bit one of them. Like I was just like not having a good day. Like the worst COVID test I've ever had. She for sure touched brain. And every single test and came back negative. And I would just look at him and be like, yep. Like every time it was negative, negative, negative. And then at the end, he was like, I'm just going to give you ibuprofen and just like do like throat lozenges. And I was like so upset. Like I left crying. I was just like frustrated because when you're like, you're not listening to me. Like that's how I felt.
Yeah.
So what happens that night, my throat swelled. What in the English language? Swelled. Whatever.
ED.
So intense that I was literally gagging on air. Like I could not, like everything was just like touching things that it was just terrible. Dude. And then my ears started hurting. I was just like crying the whole night. I was in so much pain. And then I called to get an appointment. They were like, oh, she has an appointment in like a week and a half. And I was like, no, I'll be dead by then. Yeah. So then I finally like had to go to urgent care again, wait like an abnormal amount of time. And this guy, I was like, listen, like I feel like I'm not being listened to. Yeah. And I understand antibiotics are not for everyone. Like I get it. And you could tell he was just like, hi, nice to meet you too. Because I was just like, look. I was like, look.
Look at me.
So finally he like gives me this whole spiel about antibiotics and how like my specific instance is like rare. And I was like, I know. Yeah. And so finally he prescribed me antibiotics. I was like so happy. I took the horse tranquilizer, choked on it, of course, because my throat like had no opening. And then within, I'm not joking, like 4 hours.
Better.
I felt amazing.
Yeah.
Like immediately I felt a difference. And now I'm like thriving. But 3 days ago, I thought I was going to die.
Well, it's crazy you say that because I think I kind of mentioned this in the podcast, but when I was in South Africa for that wedding, I got really sick. And after like 5 days of being sick, went to the doctor because we were about to head on a bus, a 2-hour drive deeper into the country for like the actual wedding into the like the winery, and it's more of a secluded area, like not in the big city like Cape Town. So I go to the doctor on my very last day and I'm like, hey, I need some medication. Like I've been down bad for 5 days and I still have another 5 days to go. And I don't want to like be a mess like this entire time.
Yeah.
And she gives me the same thing. She's like, well, I really think we should try this first. And she kind of like I was having stomach problems. So she like pokes my stomach a little bit. Does this hurt? And I'm like, yes.
You're like, everything hurts.
And she's like, well, I'd really rather you start on this first. And hopefully, you know, this will get you back on track. And I was like, and my non-confrontational self, I should have stood firm and been like,
it's hard though.
But I should have been like, hey, I'm traveling. I'm not from here. Like, I'm shocked I even got in to see you. Like, I want to make sure that I feel good the rest of this trip. I'm here for a long time. It's hot. Like, I don't want, you know, I should have said that, but I didn't. And I ended up being sick for like a good, like 3-4 more days. And then, I finally took my friend TK, who she's been on the podcast before. You guys know her. I ended up stealing because she had packed a Z-Pack.
Yeah.
With her.
A lot of people travel with Z-Packs just in case. Yeah.
I felt horrible because there was still a huge chance that she could have gotten it.
Yeah.
But I was like, hi, can I have that?
No, I'm like dying. Yeah.
And she was like, oh, yeah, you need it. And I was like, I'm praying every morning and night that you do not catch whatever everyone is getting. And she didn't, thank God. But the second I took the first pill, within 6 hours, I felt extremely better.
No, it's nuts.
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
So God bless antibiotics. And I know they're not for everyone and for everything, but when you know, you know. And I think your body tells you. And
it's hard because you know, like all the nut jobs like ruin it for people like us.
They ruin it.
Like, and it's so hard because I'm like, I know Dr. whatever the frick his name was. I know you don't know me, but like part of me wanted to be like, look, like I'm actually really tough. Like I'm not a whiner. I'm not a like, oh, I'm in so much pain. Like I'm going to call out for work. I've literally only called out for work this week and maybe twice before. And that was because someone died and I had strep throat.
Yeah.
Like I literally
my voice just cracked so hard. Yeah.
But like I literally don't. Like I was raised, my dad was like, if you're going to keep crying, then like we're going home. Like this is after I got hit in the mouth with a ball. Like either like knock those teeth out and get back in the game or we're going to go home. Right? Like that's how I was raised. So I'm like, I know you don't know me. But like, I'm not a baby, and
like,
I'm actually kind of smart. Like
I'm a trooper.
Yeah, I am smarter than you.
You may have not heard,
but I get it because people are, crazy. But
it's so wild. But only you know your body.
Yesterday, I was like, I felt like I had a soundtrack in my head. Yeah, I was freaking.
Was it Hillary Duff?
At me? I was like, no, I'm thinking it was more like something from like Mary Poppins. It was very like
chipper.
Yeah, and I was like. So nice to everyone because I was just like so happy and alive because I literally thought I was going to die.
Oh, man. Yeah. That's wild.
I know. Anyways, any new things with you?
No, not really. Update on my shoulder. My bone is healed.
Yeah, it is.
Fracture is healed, which is very exciting. So now I'm just in PT working on my muscles because my shoulder was immobilized for 2 months. So my muscles are just like, ouch. Yeah. Movement.
No, that can happen. You can like lock up.
I've been going to the gym and doing my like cardio like on the treadmill, just like easily like walking uphill and stuff like that. But then part of my like workout routine now is going to like the stretch mat area, and I get like the resistance bands and I get one of those big balls, and everyone over there is like planking and crunching and like doing all these intense things, and I'm just over here like stretching my shoulder.
You're like 90-degree angle.
It's so funny because it's like these guys and girls that are going so hard, and I love that for them. Yeah. But then I'm over here looking like I'm dying, like in pain, just stretching my arm out and bringing it back in, like nice and slowly, stretching it out and bringing it back in. And it's been like this whole like funny situation because every time I'll see people just kind of glance at me and just be like, what's she actually doing?
Isn't it like those scenarios you wish you could just have a sign that says like,
I am injured.
I went through something. That was when I went to the Charger game after my surgery.
Yeah.
I literally would take like 4 steps and have to stop and hold on to the rail and be like,
you really should not have been there.
No, I should not.
If you had fallen over, you could have sued them.
Maybe it was
brilliant you went.
No, it was the worst. It was the worst idea, but also I had so much fun with Ryan. But I remember one time, like, I saw this person, like, looking at me like, someone's out of shape. It doesn't help,
like, thinking you're drunk. Like, I would have probably been like, ooh, honey can't hold her liquor.
But when you're curvier and you do get out of breath.
That's, like, the first
It's
thought.
something that you're like, I know people are like, oh, she's out of shape. And it's annoying because you're like, no, like, I just did this or I just did this.
Yeah.
Like,
you're like, do you see this Band-Aid on my neck?
But I literally, one lady, she was giving me this weird, like, condescending, like, look.
Ew.
And I turned and I was like, oh, I just had, like, major surgery. And, like, she looked at my neck and was like, oh, honey, like, are you okay? Like, do you need help? I was like, don't freaking stare at me.
Don't
like,
honey me.
Yeah, I have to take a break every
don't
4
call
steps.
me honey. You don't know me.
Girl.
I always hate when women specifically say stuff like that because it feels very, like, demeaning.
Hun is the worst.
Yeah.
I know I am not alone when I say I'm looking forward to doing some spring cleaning this year. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Whether you're dusting those hard to reach places or cleaning out that closet, you know the one, we all have it. Here is my other advice. Clean your house and then protect every inch of it with Simply Safe Home Security. We recommend it to everyone.
I am so happy with Simply Safe. I think protecting your home is one of the best things you can do, especially as someone who lives alone. Sleeping can be hard, and I sleep like a baby because Simply Safe is protecting my home. And if you don't know about Simply Safe, let me break it down for you. Simply Safe is designed with cutting-edge technology and backed by 24/7 professional monitoring. In an emergency, agents use Fast Protect technology only from Simply Safe to capture critical evidence and verify that the threat is real, so you can get priority police dispatch. And I've never heard about that anywhere else. You can get 24/7 professional monitoring. Service costs under $1 a day, which is less than half the price of traditional home security systems. And you can lock and unlock your doors, access your cameras, and arm and disarm your system from absolutely anywhere. CNET named Simply Safe Editor's Choice for 2023.
Customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplysafe.com/advice. Go today and claim a free indoor security camera plus 20% off your order with interactive monitoring. That's simplysafe.com/advice. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Well, let's go ahead and get into it, tearing it up. You guys know this is one of my favorite segments.
Yeah, it is.
This is for you guys to send in funny stories. So if you have a funny story, if something funny just happened to you or someone you know, please take the time to write it into us because these things make my day. They make my absolute day. So let's get into it. Ladies, with 2 heart emojis next to it. I just want to send in a little tearing it up. I love attention. So if you guys want to share this on the pod, that would be awesome. No, I'm just kidding. I think this is just actually a really goofy story. So I am an Enneagram 2. And she adds in parentheses, hey girly pop slay girl boss Taryne.
Should I put that in my bio?
I was going to say, is that your full name? Mm-hmm. Girly pop slay girl boss Taryne.
I am a girl boss.
I'm super outgoing and click with anyone. I'm especially outgoing when I am meeting new people and have someone with me I am already comfortable with. Ugh,
that's you.
That's so me.
That's you.
I think I am my shyest by myself, which, backstory, I just went on a trip by myself and I was very proud of myself. Yeah. It was a brand trip. I didn't have a plus and I thought I handled it really well.
Good job.
But that just goes to show like how much I love having a plus there because it gets rid of that awkwardness. So
totally.
I completely understand what she's saying. For this story, my sister is the person I already know. And I'm meeting her close friends. I've always been the annoying little sister, but my sister has learned to deal with it and with me, and now we're best friends. My sister is in college in Virginia, and I'm still in high school in Wisconsin. So my sister and I always FaceTime. Last year, she became super close with 2 sisters who go to college with her. As me being outgoing, we made a group chat with the 4 of us because she thought it would be fun for all of us to get to know each other. We would always joke around, but remember that it was all over text. The sisters came to Wisconsin over the summer, so it was my first time meeting them. The day I met them, I put on a nice outfit and wore the cutest jeans I owned. I, all caps, loved these jeans, but they were a little small for me. every time I wore them to school, I got compliments, even from the teachers. And you already know I love compliments. But anyway, we were all in our family room kind of showing off tricks. I used to dance and am able to do the basic cartwheel and other moves and stuff like that. But I love to show off my worm.
Oh, no.
I'm able to go from a handstand into the worm.
That's very Magic Mike.
That is very Magic Mike, and also really hard. So impressive.
Yeah. Can you imagine if I tried to do that?
I would break my neck. break my other shoulder and
yeah,
my neck.
Shoulder out and neck tweaked.
So I decided to show the new girls who I just met my favorite trick. As I kicked up for the handstand, it was silent, and all you could hear was the tear of my favorite jeans.
Oh, I didn't think about the kick up. I was like, I predicted she ripped her pants. But I was like, you can't really rip your pants during the worm, but I didn't think about the kick up.
The kick up. That's basically a split in the air.
Yeah.
Right down the frickin' crack. I was humiliated, but also I didn't really care that much because they were such chill people, but like they could also see my butt crack if I stood up. So I slid to the stairs on my back so they wouldn't see any crack and ran upstairs and changed. Luckily, it was all good, and I still love these girls. Hopefully you liked my tearing it up. And then she adds literally tearing it up. Oh, and also the other morning I was picking up something from the ground and split another pair of jeans right down the crack. Those pants were baggy too.
Girl.
But whatever, my butt's just too big. Here are the pics of my awesome, lovely Daisy jeans and other jeans. And this is the best part of the whole story.
Wait, where'd it go? Oh, her face. That's a huge rip.
For the listeners, yeah, I'm gonna ask her. For the listeners, it literally goes from crotch to like the back of your butt.
Yeah.
It's not a tiny crack, and it's not a little one like on your butt or something like that. It's like the entire crotch area is open.
Wow.
It's so insane. Then those are just pictures of her.
Oh my gosh.
She like blurred out her actual butt so you can't see it. And that's the other pair.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? You're in high school. This is what happens when your hips start coming in.
Yeah, it all goes downhill.
You start hitting a certain age and all of a sudden your butt like gets bigger, your hips get bigger. I remember looking down in high school and then just seeing stretch marks on my cheeks and being like, when did those get there?
No, I think I've talked about it on here. When I was a freshman, our senior class was like, it was so many hot boys, like, and they all played football, like they were all like friends. And I remember one of them, one time I was like walking down the hall and he was like, booty. And I like turned around because I was like, who's he talking to? And then they were all looking at me and they were like, what's up, booty? And that became my nickname, which was like so embarrassing. But now I look back, I'm like, dang, why didn't you embrace that? Like try to date one of them, you know?
Yeah, right.
I was so shy, but I remember running to the bathroom and looking in the mirror and being like, where did that come from? Like my butt got like so big out of nowhere. Well, I guess it was always there, but like it was very defined.
Curvy, yeah. In the best way, as butts should be.
Yeah. And now it's got a mind of its own. It's growing. More cheeks and more cheeks.
More cheeks and more cheeks.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you for sending in your Turn It Up. Also, again, guys, just want to really reiterate this. Please send in your funny stories. These make the whole episode for me. I love the Turn It Ups. So please send them in.
Okay. Should we get into
probably
my story?
It's what everyone's waiting
for
us to do.
I'm feeling real chatty today.
I know. It's because I'm telling you, we're having a great day.
Also,
Hillary Duff.
God bless. Hillary Duff. Unfortunately, I have fallen victim to Love Island.
Yeah. It happens.
And I have been spending, because the episodes are like an hour, Ash.
Right.
And each season has like 60 episodes.
Oof, that's insane.
I've watched 4 seasons.
In how long?
I'm like, I have no life anymore. Like, I need help.
How long did it take for you to watch 4 seasons?
Not long.
Oh, my God.
But anyways, okay. The problem I'm having is imposter syndrome because I am now British in my mind. And I have frequently said phrases I have no right to be saying. And it's really hard because there's so many times throughout the day I'll go to say something and I'm like, Taryne Renee.
Yeah.
You can't say that. Like, it's not yours to say.
I'm waiting for you to be like talking to a student at your school or talking to a student's parents at your school and then just breaking into a British.
It's so hard.
A British phrase, a British accent.
So hard. Like, I said something the other day because, like, they'll say, I'm going to start a TikTok series where I say phrases I learned in Love Island.
Yeah.
But one of them, they'll say, like, oh, like, you were slagging me off. And that means basically, like, you're talking crap, but, like, it's personal.
Okay.
So, like, when they say, if they're like, oh, like, so-and-so is slagging you off, it's, like, very offensive, right? It's not just, like, you were talking about me. It's, like, you were, like, talking about my character.
Yeah.
So the other day I literally said, like, oh, and it's not like I was, like, slagging her off. And I was like, that's not yours. That's not your word. Yeah. You don't even really know what it means.
And also, no one else is going to understand what you mean out here.
No.
So, like,
if I start ending my sentences with "in it," like, just cut me off and just be like, stop it. Yeah. Stop it. Who am I? I'm not. I've been to London once for like 2 days. Who am I? Oh, it's bad. It's bad.
Shoot.
It's bad. Anyway.
Well, you're not alone.
That's enough banter for today.
Oh, my God.
Let's get grafting, ladies. I'm just kidding. Oh, my God.
Should we start a segment of what's the new phrase you learned from Love Island?
Yeah.
Let us know.
You know what? You know what's so sad, too? Like, my friend Alex is who has been, like, trying to get me to watch this for years. Yeah. And I was like, girl, I have no interest. Like, zero interest. I hate shows like this.
Yeah.
So she was down bad, and she was like, let's just put it on. So I was like, I'll throw you a bone.
Yeah,
like, okay.
Sure.
Put on an episode, and I was like, whatever. By the end of the episode, I was like, I can't go to sleep without knowing
I need to know
what happens
to
Curtis and Amy. I have to know. So then I could not stop watching it. And then my brother was dying because he was there the night. I was like, oh, she's making me watch Love Island.
Yeah.
He comes in like a day later. He walks in and he goes, what is wrong? I was ugly crying, like ugly sob, tears covering my face and shirt, sobbing. And he comes in, he's like, what's wrong? And I was like, so Curtis, when they were in Casa Amor, he just like talks to this random girl. And then Amy, she figures out she's in love with him. And I'm like crying and talking about these people like I know them. And he was just like, he looked at me and he was like, Taryne, you gotta get, like, you need to get it together. Yeah. And he was also like the difference between like the first day and now. And I just can't stop. It's so bad.
Well, that's like, have you seen the TikTok of the girl who like watches a video about the robot on Mars?
Mm-mm.
Have you seen this, Mandy? Oh my God, this is, if you haven't seen this, you need to go watch it because this is me with any dog video, right?
Oh, just like sobbing?
Yeah, she's absolutely sobbing because she discovers that the robot has been up there for a long time, and after its first year up there, it sang itself a happy birthday song for his birthday.
You're lying.
Yeah, I said his. And then at the end of its life, the last because it can only be up there for so long. As its battery was dying, its last words were, "My battery is dying. It's getting dark." And it was so sad.
Why?
Not me getting teary-eyed thinking
Why
about
are
it.
actual tears forming in my eyes?
It was the funniest.
Look at your
Yeah. We'll repost it on social so you guys can know what we're talking about. So if you're currently listening to this, it will be on our socials.
I need an actual minute.
Yeah. It's Wall-E. It's literally Wall-E.
Dark. But maybe the aliens found him by now.
Yeah, they threw a blanket over him.
God.
He's actually a hostage.
I don't want to know. No, he's thriving. Who are you? All robots go to heaven.
Oh,
why am I actually crying over that?
But it started this whole conversation of like, do you feel bad for the robot or is it just a robot? And
no.
The overwhelming answer was, we feel bad for the robot.
Absolutely.
It was so funny. But it got me. Anyways.
Wow, Ash, that was unnecessary.
No, it was it's a movement
I'm
and it's a
sad.
current. We need to talk about it.
Don't send me the video. I can't see. If
you
see a picture of the robot, I'll not be able to sleep.
Well, I don't think you actually see. It's more about her reaction.
Okay, I don't.
Because this is a college student. And she's like visiting home on spring break, and her parents are dying because she's crying about this robot.
No, me.
Yeah.
I cry over everything.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Well, it's because Pixar has turned everything into a lovable little creature.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but my it's gotten worse with age. Like, I am an empath. Like, I feel everything people are feeling. Like, it's uncanny. And Ash is always the funniest because I'll walk into a room and be like, oh, could you tell that girl was upset? Like, about blah, 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 blah. And Ashley's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? She was smiling. I'm like, no, she's struggling with something. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But what was I saying? Oh, it's gotten to the point where I can turn on the TV. If someone on the TV is crying, I'll immediately start crying.
Yeah.
I have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're a good person, bad person.
Sympathy
Nothing.
sobs.
I can't. It's so bad. I cry. The second someone else starts crying or tearing up, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
I'm pretty similar. It's
But do
just
I cry about
tears
my
just
own
getting-
hurt? Nah. That's for weaklings. Today's episode of Unsolicited Advice with Ashley and Taryne is sponsored by BetterHelp. You guys know how passionate we are about getting help when needed, and we think therapy is something that is so, so, so valuable. And we always are honored to partner with BetterHelp because it is just a place that meets your needs wherever you are. I started using BetterHelp in 2020, and it drastically helped me get through a really rough time. So I cannot recommend enough.
If you're thinking of starting therapy, definitely give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. I'm not kidding, guys. They will meet you where you're at. If you want to do a phone call, a video chat, you can chat with them online. You can do whatever you want from the comfort of home. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. And here's the best part. You can switch your therapist at any time for no additional charge. Taryne and I firmly believe that sometimes it takes a few tries before you find a therapist that you just click with, and that click is so important. And BetterHelp completely understands that and makes you changing your therapist completely free.
Discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/unsolicited today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/unsolicited. Let's get into the story.
Let's.
We've been talking for 32 minutes. Okay. I'm just going to get into the story. I'm not going to. I don't think we've done a story in this specific topic. So I'm
fun.
not excited that you're going through this, but I'm excited to talk about
something new.
Because this definitely, I feel like people will relate to. Hey, ladies, my name is Emmy, and I'm in my early 20s from Connecticut. CT is Connecticut, right?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Geography. Okay. I've been listening to your podcast for so long. I admire the things you are doing for people's lives and how much you guys help. I love that you guys provide viewpoints that are healthy and helpful. Healthy and helpful.
Healthy and
H&H,
helpful.
baby. Okay. That's why I wanted to write in today. This topic is a little different from what you guys normally talk about. My boyfriend and I have been together for 3 years. We are so strong and so in love. And he recently asked me to move into his apartment. He has a roommate who is a girl who I've known for a long time, but she has a drinking problem. About 7 months ago, her and her ex-boyfriend broke up after being together for 5 years. She recently began dating someone else and has been really happy, but the drinking is getting worse. I don't think he is the problem. I think she is just going through something. It's gotten to the point where she invites all of our friends over every night, and we are drinking every single night. It's not like White Claws and wine coolers. It's everyone finishing 2 handles of hard liquor every night.
Oh.
Feeling terrible.
Shoot.
Yeah. Yeah. Feeling too sick to go to work in the morning and throwing up all night. I don't drink this much. I usually stick to 1 drink and I'm chilling, but I've noticed that she's missed 28 out of 30 days of work every month. Yeah. Yeah.
At what point do you just get fired
I was
for not showing up?
Well,
Oh.
here's her reason why she's not. And every time we bring up that she's missing too much work, she says, I have a federal job, so I can't get fired. T. I did not know that loophole.
Also, I don't know how accurate that is.
I didn't know I could act a fool and not get fired. So looking into that. One day, a couple weeks ago, we all hung out at my house without any drinks, and nobody knew how to handle themselves. Everyone was bored and complaining that we needed drinks to have a good time. Not only that, but my boyfriend and I get no alone time because we can never just chill as with the 3 roommates with no other friends and no drinking. Mm-hmm. The drinking is getting absolutely out of control. Drinking beer with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, throwing up way too much. I know. Ugh. And missing work. Our house is a disaster, and I'm the one cooking and cleaning for everyone every night because everyone else is drinking.
Oh, that's me.
I know.
That's so me. I hate that.
I know.
I'm so sorry.
I want to talk to them about this because my boyfriend and I are on the same page. She's missing work, and soon we think she will get fired and not be able to pay her part of the rent. We also are worried for her and her body and her mental health because everything she does drunk. Every night ends in sticking fingers down her throat and not going to work in the morning. As an outsider, this is a sad situation to see. I'm watching everyone get sloppy and problems arise because drunk people are idiots sometimes. And I want the best for them. Also, since I'm moving in 4 months, I would like to have some chill nights where me and my boyfriend can sleep and not be listening to drunk people stomping, singing, and screaming till 6 a.m. every day. We both work at 8:30 and enjoy our peace and quiet and routine. We love them so much, but we don't know how to bring up the conversation that we are worried about her and we need some chill nights. Every time we bring it up, she deflects. We don't want her to feel cornered either. How do we have this conversation and have it come from love and support and also set boundaries about our home? I notice this lifestyle is killing me and making me feel terrible. No sleep, no routine, no chill nights. Sorry this is so long. It's not. But I'm not sure which direction to go. P.S. Moving in is already in place and set, so not moving is not an option. So her boyfriend asked her to move in, but she actually hasn't moved in yet. She's moving in 4 months.
Oh.
And it's already in place, so that's why she's saying
this is a problem because she's going to be moving into that house.
Yeah,
and
it's already
atmosphere.
set, so not moving in isn't an option. Because I'm sure she's thinking us to be like, oh, well, don't move in.
Yeah.
But she's like, no, everything's like already rolling.
Yeah, okay.
Ugh, gosh, this is like my actual nightmare. My actual nightmare.
I mean, being a non-confrontational person, wouldn't be able to move in without having some kind of confrontational conversation with her.
No, yeah.
Where I couldn't live with that. I 1,000% couldn't handle that atmosphere, couldn't handle that on a daily basis. And like, that would be hard for me to handle on like weekends even, let alone every single day.
Every weekend.
Like a Monday.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work. I'm trying to focus. I'm trying to get like my life in order. Yeah. And you're over here just like sloppily drinking your beer for breakfast, which, by the way, breakfast is for coffee and OJ. Disgusting. Nothing else.
Or a little H2O. Jeez.
Yeah, jeez.
Gosh. Yeah.
Monday is a hydration nation. You're supposed to be like, recuperating from whatever you did over the weekend. But like, maybe that would be the good compromise of like, hey, I understand like partying. I understand having a good time. And I understand like wanting a drink now and then. But Monday through Thursday...
Yeah.
Can we not? I don't see why that shouldn't be a problem for her.
Yeah.
Let's not on the weekdays. Weekends, sure. Like I can go be somewhere else. I can go like do my own thing. Like at least it's not a work day, but maybe compromise in that way.
I feel like, I feel like the thing is, I wish like I knew. I should have like reached out to her before we talked about this, but I would be very curious whose name is on the lease.
Yes.
Because I feel like that would solve a lot of problems if your boyfriend is the one whose name is on the lease.
True.
Like, y'all can attack this at a very
different,
like just straight to the point way. If they're both on the lease, I think you have to approach it in a little bit of a different way, but still, like, as a roommate, you have a right to say something. I mean, it's very clear that she is struggling with alcohol. Like, I mean, I'm not qualified to, like, diagnose anyone as an alcoholic by any means, but from what the little knowledge I do have of it, it sounds like she's, like, on that path.
Yeah.
She's definitely numbing. She's definitely trying to escape whatever reality she's struggling with. So, but I also think that all of your friends are enabling her to do that. Like, why are they coming over every night to do that? You know what I mean? So, yeah, you have every right to sit her down. The hard part is, like, this conversation needs to happen when she's sober.
Yeah.
But is she ever?
Not with beer for breakfast.
No.
I agree with Taryne. I think there's like steps that you can take to do this. I think you and your boyfriend need to sit her down, have a conversation with her when you find a window of time where she's not very drunk, and just kind of lay it out for her and be like, hey, you've been drunk for 2 months straight. Like, this is kind of ridiculous. I'm planning on moving in, and I just want to be very clear. This will not work.
Yeah.
Like, the atmosphere you're setting, the place that you're in, and the way you've been spiraling since your breakup, this is not okay. And it's been lasting too long.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give you space to get over your breakup and kind of like, you know, process everything. But this is quickly becoming a very bad and very dangerous lifestyle. And I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
So make it clear that if you're moving in, something's got to change, and try to give a compromise. Like, I don't think you can ask her to just like up and stop everything. Like, that's her life, that's her choice or whatever. But like, you can say, again, the whole weekdays, not an option. If you want to drink, like, go somewhere else. Like, go to the bar.
Yeah, I think my approach I mean, I feel like I would approach it first with concern for her individually, and just saying, even if she starts to deflect, like, I would probably get like super emotional and raw with her and just be like, you're going to kill yourself if you keep down this route. And like,
she's still a friend.
I am worried about you, and I know you say you're in control, but like, if you were to be in my shoes and see you from the outside, you would not think the same thing. And clearly something is going on. If you're not addicted to it and not whatever, then okay, then how about all next week, like, you don't drink at all?
Yeah, prove it.
And if you can't do that, like, there is a problem there, and we need to like get you help, and like, I want to be here to help you and whatever.
Yeah.
If she starts deflecting, then I would just be like, okay, look, you're a grown adult. You can make your own decisions. I've said my piece that I'm worried about you, but you're going to make your own decisions. But bottom line, you're not respecting the apartment and the fact that we all have jobs and things to go on. So we need to come up with an agreement that needs to be respected. And I think that weeknights are out of the question.
Yeah.
Like, Friday night and Saturday night, cool. But Sunday night through Thursday night, like, no.
Yeah.
It's affecting, and I mean, your boyfriend needs to be the one saying it, but you need to also be there to be like, same when I move in.
Agreeing, saying that.
But it's affecting my job performance, which is then putting in jeopardy like my security and my financial, you know, like,
ability to live here.
Yeah. And I would just be very upfront and be like, this has to happen, or honestly, like, it might be better if you start looking for a new place. Like, and I would just be super blunt about it.
And then again, like Taryne said, find out whose name is on the lease.
Yeah.
And then that, if it is your boyfriend's name, then after you have that conversation, if nothing changes, you can be like, hey, so here's the facts. It's not working. And we have the upper hand. So,
and even if her name is on the lease,
then move.
Then I would say, like,
her do
then
her
we're
thing.
gonna start looking for a new place.
Yeah. There's got to be an ultimatum.
I would talk to your, even like,
have
if
one
she's
of her
not hearing you
friends
guys,
move in.
Yeah. If she's not hearing you guys, maybe you can even like reach out to the landlord and be like, hey, like, I know there's been parties nonstop. Like, my roommate's not listening to me. If you want to like write up a letter or something like to give to us, like I would gladly hand that over and be like, hey, we've broken like noise. What are they called?
Regulations.
Something. All these things, right?
Ordinances.
Yeah. So I think there needs to be boundaries drawn of like, I should not be cleaning up after your party. Like I should not be having to go to work late and feeling sick because I got no sleep. Like there's very easy boundaries to lay there, and you have like full blown every right to say that stuff. But I think your approach, you just need to kind of see how she responds. But I think with any confrontation, you should always address that you care about the person and that you're worried about them before you get into anything else. And then depending on how she responds, then you know how harsh to go in,
right?
You know?
Exactly. 1,000%. I completely agree with Taryne. Start easy. Give her a chance to prove herself, maybe a month. And if she can't do that within a month, then like bring in the big guns and either threaten to move out and find another place and have her deal with like the aftermath of trying to find other roommates, which can be hell. Or if his name is on the lease, like threaten to kick her out or whatever. But like start loving. Hopefully she can turn it around. If she can't, I, in the most nicest way, need to remind you that it's not your problem.
Yeah.
You know, and you shouldn't have to put up with that.
And there are I had to have a confrontation with, you know, I've lived in a few different places now, and I've had a lot of different roommates. And there was like one situation I had that wasn't even that crazy, but it was just her boyfriend was over all the time. And so I think it was like the second time that like I walked out in the middle of the night to like get something and I was in my underwear and like ran into him.
Yeah.
I was so pissed. And like in the morning I wanted to go like lay on the couch, but like he would already be there. And like it was like nonstop. Like he was always there.
Yeah.
And so all the roommates were like frustrated, but then I was like, I'll say something because like we can't be mad at her if we haven't said anything.
Yeah, if you haven't
her.
Vocalized it in her head, she might think y'all don't care at all.
For sure. And it was like, it's not like she was doing something wrong, but it was something that was affecting my home, right?
Yeah.
So I went up to her and I could tell she was she got very like uncomfortable. So I went in very gentle and I was just like, look, at the end of the day, like, this is my home. Like I pay a good amount of money to live here and I want to be able to walk around in my underwear or to like, you know, do certain things without always feeling like I have to go around like you guys out of respect, you know? And so we sat and we figured out a compromise and like a warning system of like, hey, like he's going to be over today, like this time.
Scrunchie on the door or like a text, you know.
And it got so much better, but I had to have that and I had to go in knowing my rights. And I was like, this is my home. Like
it's your home way before it's his home.
Yeah, he doesn't live here. So like I pay to live here. I have certain rights that should be respected just as I'm respecting you and like the things you want to do. So it's just about going in with like the right language that's not attacking someone, but just laying out like bottom line.
Yeah.
These are the boundaries I need to be respected and then have that conversation where you're trying to figure out a way that works for both of you.
Yeah. And no one can fight with you when it's like facts like that. Like this is my home too.
Excessive.
Yeah.
Dear God.
Yeah. Ugh. So good luck. You 1,000% have this in the bag because
stand your ground for
any outsider looking in on this situation would be like, yeah, that's a problem. At least it's like a clear and obvious issue. Hopefully you and your boyfriend can just kind of like stand your ground and stand united in this chat with her. And hopefully she turns it around because that's a very slippery slope.
It's so funny because there's like the petty side of me that if it got to like if she was just like F you, I'm gonna do what I want, then I would probably tell my boyfriend like, hey, like as soon as the party starts, let's leave, and like 30 minutes I'm gonna call and do a noise complaint on my own place. And then maybe if she gets enough citations or she like, but it's like I think right now she's on a path to rock bottom, and unfortunately, like
sometimes you have to hit
that journey has to be her own until she's willing to get help, and hopefully, like she has people in her life that she'll be able to hear. Hopefully,
yeah. God, I hope so.
Oof, that's rough.
Yeah. watching someone become an alcoholic
So hard.
is difficult.
It's hard.
That is very hard to sit back and watch.
Yeah.
Especially when obviously this is your boyfriend's roommate. You guys have known each other for a while. She's clearly a friend.
Mm-hmm.
So to have to sit back and watch your friend go through that has got to be so hard.
No, it's so hard. Ugh. Well, good luck with everything. Just stand your ground, be loving, and just like compromise and find something that works for you guys. But
ma'am.
good luck. Good luck.
Good
Or start
luck.
apartment hunting, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, you could
That
start
might
now.
be the best thing.
It's always good. I think looking for a new place is always such a hassle. So it's always good to just kind of keep your eyes peeled for like things, because you never know.
No, yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and transition over to a different topic. We're going to be talking about relationships now and breakup. So this one is titled, How Do I Heal from My Relationship When New Nasty Details Keep Popping Up?
You don't? Just kidding.
They write, Hi, lovely ladies. And in parentheses, I didn't dare to offend either of you.
Wow.
It's a good one. I appreciate it. As you can tell from the title, I've gotten myself into a bit of a nasty situation with my now ex-boyfriend. But first, a bit about me. She writes, my name is Freja, I think is how you say it, or
How's it spelled?
Freja, Freja. She writes, yes, you can say my name. She's 18 years old and from the tiny country of Denmark in Northern Europe. I want to go
Denmark.
Freja?
Let's see if Google can help us.
Dear Google. Oh, God.
I was trying to help these dang commercials. Dang, Ash, we put people through this. Freya.
Okay, that was what I
Freya.
said the first time.
Wow. Welcome to 20 minutes to find out the answer to something. Go ahead.
Okay, so it's confirmed, Freya. She writes, she's 18 years old from the tiny country of Denmark in Northern Europe. I'm a bit unsure of my Enneagram number. The test told me that I'm a 7, but often feel like a 2. I have been listening to the podcast for quite some years now, and yes, I'm one of the people who listen at the gym. I adore both of your wonderful personalities and find myself learning a lot about myself from listening to your wonderful advice. Wow.
Love that.
First of all, I love everything that you said. If you ever write a story, please send in like the country you're from, your age. I love hearing about the countries, where you're from,
where you listen to us, what we mean to you,
and
what's
your Enneagram number,
of ours.
obviously. Which, fun fact, I've said this on the podcast before, but a lot of women get accidentally labeled a 2 because women are just notoriously more empathetic, more loving, more caring. So it is common for women to feel like they're a 2 or to test as a 2 because they are most likely have a lot of those qualities. So you could be a 7, you could be a 2. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like only you know. You have to read more about it to like really get a good answer.
Yeah, I'm curious if like 2s often also are high in 7 because that was I was like 2 and then 7 was a close second. Which is why I think my 8 is so dominant because 2 goes to 8 when they're unhealthy. But also if I was a 7, I would be a wing 8 because I think I'm very good at confrontation as a 2. But it's very much like confrontation as like my mama bear.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting.
Very.
Anyways.
Okay, moving on. Anyways, on to my story. My boyfriend and I broke up in the beginning of March. We had been dating for 2.5 years, but the last couple of months were very rough. He was struggling with depression and often dumped all of his emotions on me when we hung out. When I brought it up, he said he knew it wasn't fair and that he felt guilty about it. I gave him another chance as I thought it would give him a chance to prove himself. This was back around New Year's after having that conversation, and he shut up like a clam. He would never talk about his emotions or depression, ever. Whenever I asked him about it, he simply brushed it off, so I thought it was getting better. As time went on, he became more distant, and I started to feel like the relationship wasn't a safe space anymore. In the middle of February, we went on a long week ski trip with his dad and brother. I had thought this was a great opportunity to reconnect again, and while the skiing was beautiful, our relationship was not getting better. We didn't have any massive fights or anything, but it wasn't a great reconnection that I had hoped for either. So a couple of weeks after we ended up breaking up, it was a mutual decision, and we both agreed that we had grown in different directions and needed to develop on our own. It was, of course, really sad, and we both cried a bunch and hugged each other a lot. We also both agreed to give each other plenty of space to heal on our own. I went home feeling sad, but happy that things had ended on good terms. Well, it turns out I was wrong. A couple of days later, I was talking with one of my good friends when she brought up some nasty things he had said. The week before the breakup, he had gone to Italy on a school trip. While on the trip, he had been flirting with a girl. When someone brought up the fact that he had a girlfriend, he simply responded with, "Well, I'm going to be single next week, so what does it matter?"
First of all, what a freaking king or queen whoever called him out on
I
don't you have
know.
a girlfriend.
I know.
I wish people did that more often.
Yes. Instead of sitting back and watching and just being like, that's uncomfortable.
Or just like a simple statement of like, hey, Ash, like, I feel like, would you be acting like that if so-and-so was here?
Yeah.
Wait, we've said his name.
Yeah.
I always forget. Like, hey, Ash, like, I feel like if Jackson was here, he would not be happy with
exactly.
Like, how you're
and you
acting.
don't have to be mean about
Yeah.
it. You don't have to be rude or cruel or make whoever he's flirting with feel bad. You can just be like, should you be doing this?
And
you know?
the thing is, if I'm doing something and you ask me a clarifying question and I get defensive and am offended that you asked me, then obviously what I'm doing is not right.
Right.
Because if you said something to me,
it's the biggest red flag.
Oh my God. If you said something to me like, hey, like, should you be doing that? And I was like, oh yeah, like I do this all the time. Like I'm comfortable with it. Then I'm not going to be pissed that you asked me.
Right.
But if you call me out in an area that I already have guilt about, then I'm going to snap back.
Oof. 100%.
T.
Continuing on, he had also talked in detail about our sex life in front of a large group of people and even brought up a really uncomfortable situation where I had a very emotional reaction to having sex.
Disrespectful.
Very. That is a hard line in a relationship that should never be broken. Like hard line.
Disrespect.
Ever. Like that's such a vulnerable thing to bring up about your partner that you like supposedly love and care about and have been spending 2.5 years together with, you know?
That's muggy.
Mm-mm. Oh my God. Do not. Do not. Your British phrases. I cannot.
Okay, sorry, but seriously.
Muggy.
Mug.
Continuing on in the email, I was, of course, devastated to hear this. I was convinced there was a mutual respect between us, even in the end, but apparently I was wrong.
Wow.
To make matters worse, just a couple of days later, my best friend tells me she saw him on Tinder. When she texted him and asked why, he said it was just his friends messing around. I still find it weird that he consented to that just 3 days after we had broken up. Dear God. Mug. Big mug.
Mug.
There are also rumors that he went on a date with a girl last week.
Okay.
This guy.
Trash, dude.
All in all, it has really wrecked me. And I'm honestly so tired of these nasty details that keep popping up. So my question for you lovely ladies is, how do I heal from this relationship when new things keep popping up? I have not had contact with him since we broke up, but we have a lot of mutual friends, so it's difficult to not hear anything. Any advice you ladies have would be appreciated. Thank you so much for reading my story. And since I know you guys love pictures, I attached one of me and my bestie who has been supporting me through this whole mess.
Good.
And she writes, "Much love, Freja." And she is the one on the left.
Aww,
I don't know if you can see that.
Cute. Okay, love
First
that
of all,
vibe.
your dress. Your dress is cute. You and your bestie are a vibe. That is such a, oh my God. That is such a 90s vibe. Like your dress,
hot.
her top, the sunglasses. That's crazy. I love it.
Hot.
Well,
I have so much to say.
there's so many things I want to talk about. Like, he clearly is a wreck, like an absolute wreck. So in one way, I want to just like applaud you for choosing to break up with him and applaud you for recognizing like, and I want to like confirm you're recognizing this, like he's a mess and he needs to sort himself out. And that's not your responsibility.
Did he break up with her?
They both agreed to break up.
Mutually, but obviously he was thinking.
She was thinking. So I'm glad that she stuck with it and like felt that and obviously protected herself and backed away from a very messy guy who needs to sort himself out. And I just want to make sure that you're aware that you did the right thing and his mess isn't your mess. And he needs to figure that out. So we'll want to say that first of all. Second of all, you clearly dodged a bullet. Like he's clearly like unraveling and kind of spiraling and is doing all of these things. And I hope you see the confirmation that all of your friends are saying and agreeing that what he's doing is just like shady and trashy. You know?
Yeah, you know what? Like to me when I hear this, obviously I know everything. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, I don't know him. I don't know the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I don't know if he could even answer this truthfully right now.
Yeah.
But to me, there's two options. One is either he really is a trash human and he has been like fooling you this whole time and like his true side is actually coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Or this is his way of coping, and it's a lot easier to project this like, I didn't want her anyways, like I'm gonna like let's start dating, let's start whatever. It's a lot easier to get swept into that than sitting with
those
losing
emotions.
someone.
Yeah.
And even
2.5 years isn't just a quick fling.
No, that's a long time.
There's emotions there.
That's a long time.
There's definitely there. He's not, you know, it's not like he doesn't have them.
No. And I think that guys, like a lot of times, because my ex kind of did that. Like he kind of went straight into this, I don't really care, like, started hanging out with a girl, started just being like really into like all this stuff and acting as if he like didn't give a crap. But then when we finally had a closure conversation, he was the one sobbing and finally after so long was able to be like, no, like you were right. Like it was a Band-Aid. Like I couldn't deal with like us being done and this was easier.
Yeah.
So it's like whether you ever get that confirmation or not, either way, like this is about him and him solely.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with you. It's not that he didn't care about you. It's not that you weren't good enough. It's not that you didn't mean anything to him. This is his way of either showing that he's trash, which if he is trash, bye.
Yeah. Later.
Bye.
Glad that's done.
Like every Tuesday, put that bin out and then bye. You know what I mean? But it's if he's not trash and he's just hurting, this is his way of lashing out. Like and you've got to protect yourself to not let that get to you because that has nothing to do with you, even though it feels hella personal. You know?
It's so personal. And like obviously, like looking back at the top of your email, you said he was going through some very serious depression and then he just stopped talking about it. Clearly, he doesn't have a handle on some very serious emotions that are going on in him right now. So that the breakup could have like started like a whole other level of emotions that he's just it sounded like he was unable to handle the emotions beforehand.
Yeah.
And now with a breakup on top of it of 2.5 years, which is a substantial amount of time. I don't think he has, it doesn't sound like he has the tools to handle those emotions right now. So I agree with Taryne.
It's going to catch up to him.
Oh, one of these days, you know, he's playing like tough guy, like not emotional right now, but one of these days he's going to be sitting at home by himself and it's all going to come crashing down and that's going to be messy.
Those are always the guys that come back too.
Yeah. So Freya, if I were you, I would just stand strong in your decision. And personally, I would pray for him every day and hope that he finds closure and hope that he like is able to like process those emotions. But I would start working really hard on cutting myself off from him. Like I would let myself, you know, think about him, pray about him like at night or in the morning and then like wipe him from like my life and try to just like cut everything off. When people tell you these things, I would just take it and just be like, that really sucks. I think he's struggling really bad. And then like not talk about it.
Or it's okay to also say like, hey, I I appreciate that you tell me the things that you hear, but honestly, like, I'd rather just not know. Like, I want to just move on and, like, that's it. And honestly, in a weird way, he's given you a gift of being, like, the worst because it's a lot easier.
Makes it a lot easier.
To be like, and, like, who are you?
Yeah, like, everyone's jokes about, like, it's easier to break up with a douchebag than, like, a nice guy.
Totally.
And even though I'm sure he was and is a great guy, like, what he's doing is not okay.
Yeah.
And it's rude and it's very disrespectful to you and the relationship that you guys had once upon a time. So.
And, dude, I forgot about that part, the whole, like, talking about intimate details.
Yeah.
You have absolutely every right to call him out on that.
Yeah.
And to say to him, like, look, what's done is done.
Yeah.
I don't want you back. You clearly don't give a crap about me or want me back. But you will not disrespect me. And those were intimate moments and very personal. And the fact that I am hearing about those intimate personal moments coming back from a mouth of someone that wasn't involved is absolutely not acceptable.
Yeah.
And you need to shut your mouth on that because I have not disrespected you at all.
Yeah.
So move on. Good luck. I hope you get lots of chicks, but don't open your mouth and talk about my personal stuff
again.
Like, it's disrespectful.
Oh, it's so disrespectful.
I would totally call him out on that.
I think, definitely decide if you want to confront him on that or not, if you want to see him again or call him or whatever. If you decide to do that, then I 100% agree with Taryne. I think you should. And I think you should be very straight up about, like, and reminding him, like, this is a small town that we live in.
Yeah, dear
and
God.
I'm hearing about my sex life from people. From people. From
but
you. That you started that.
What is a reason you would share, oh, yeah, and she got really emotional, had a breakdown, and had a hard time with, like, what? Like, it's
You're not going around talking about his, like, dick size or anything like that. So, like,
it just shows he's in a very toxic mental space
exactly.
Right now.
So
that's terrible.
Exactly. So I agree. If you feel comfortable calling him out on that, I fully support you. You have every right to call him out on that.
Agree.
And then I agree with Taryne again. I think Taryne was on it with this one. If you have every right to tell your friends you don't want to hear about him.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear updates unless it has something to do with you and your name and him talking about you or something like that. Then sure, but, like, if it's just, like, updates on how he's doing, you don't need to know.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to help you in the healing process.
Yeah, there's certain things, like, you want to know and you don't want to know. And, like, I kind of came to this place, like, unfortunately, I was still very involved with a lot of people who knew my ex. So, poor guy. Like, I know so much about his life that I'm sure he, like, did not want. I'm, like, the last person he wanted to know about.
Yeah.
But there are certain things that qualify as, like, hey, like, I feel like I should tell you something. Like, it's funny. Like, I was talking to someone about this because one of my friends is going through a breakup and a lot of crap has happened.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, you know what? In a way, even though this is, like, the harshest season of your life, in a way, he's kind of done you a favor because all of the worst things that you dread when you break up with someone have all happened within the span of under a year.
Yeah.
Like, literally every single thing.
Again, if you're able to, like, detach your emotions from it, is just a confirmation that you shouldn't have been with him.
You should not have been with him. And it's like, cool, bring it all on. Let me just feel all this crap and then let me move on.
Yeah.
Like, my ex, we've been broken up for literally almost like a decade, probably has been a decade. And I have no ill will towards him. If I saw him on the street, I'd genuinely be happy to see him and say what's up because it's been so long. I don't want him back. He does not want me back. I mean, he probably does. Who wouldn't? I'm, like, amazing. But we're in two totally different places in life.
Yeah.
I did just find out that he had a baby. Like a 5-minute period where I just had, like, a little, like,
oof,
upset stomach.
Yeah.
Because it was like, whoa, like, we had all of our, like, plans for kids, like, set, you know? Like, I mean, we were together for 4 years. I was ready to have kids. I was ready to get married, like, all these things. So it was, like, a small split second that I was like, oof, like, that kind of, like, got
just
me a little
sick.
bit.
Yeah.
And then I moved on, right? Yeah. But, like, when someone shows you, like, all their, and not even that's bad that he had a baby. Like, I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
Like, he should. But I'm saying, like, for there's things that happen after you break up that like hurt or like that are hard to process. But like when someone so violently shows you these sides of them all at once, it's a lot harder to take in at the moment, but it's a lot easier to detach from that person and be like, wow, like you're not it. You're not it.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. And I hope that you are taking this as, again, just a confirmation that you made the right decision, that you guys weren't supposed to be together, and that you get to now focus. This is such a great, I hate breakups, obviously. It's so sad. But that like newly fresh person that comes out of the breakup with no burden, with no baggage, with no guy clinging on or dragging them down or holding him back with all of his messy emotions that he needs to figure out on his own. It's not your responsibility. Like the girl that's walking out from that cloud of a mess is going to be like just on cloud 9, being able to focus on yourself and your dreams and your desires. And you can start like such great, and this is my personality showing, but like such great like self-care routines. And you can start focusing on like girl time and like travel and your career goals and school because you're young. Like there's so much you get to like focus on and look forward to and work on now that he's gone. And I'm very excited for that girl. And I can't wait to see like what she looks like a few years from now without this like burden and mess of a man holding you back.
No, it's so funny. Like I was talking to a colleague the other day and she's going through something really hard, you know, and I could tell she was spiraling and questioning like, why is this happening? And I remember I like stopped her and I was like, if you ask almost every single person to look back at their life and just to point out top 3 moments in their life or things that have happened that shaped them into who they are, I would bet a large amount of money that those things would be negative. Because nothing shapes you more than when you get knocked down and you yourself
choose to pick
have
yourself
to
up.
use your legs to stand back up and to figure out, where do I go from here?
Yeah.
And in the moment, like I've shared before, the morning I woke up after my breakup, I was so controlled by like dressing myself to try to make him happy that I stood in front of my closet for 30 minutes crying because I didn't even know what I liked to wear anymore. Like I had lost all sense of who I was as a person. And I look back at that moment, and in that moment, I was so incredibly, it makes me emotional. I was so broken. Like imagine like a person like not even knowing like how to dress themselves. Like,
well, 4 years.
The lowest you can imagine. I stood there and was like, this realization of like, I don't know who I am. Like at all.
Yeah.
And I remember like at that time, I would have done anything. I would have walked through any magic door, taken any magic pill to like skip over it. But why I'm emotional is I look back and that is the most meaningful chapter of my life because out of that, I went from having everything set to feeling like I had no friends. I was disconnected from my family. I didn't know who I was. I was miserable. I was depressed. I was just stripped of all identity. And I had to get up and relearn who I was and re-fall in love with who I was and become stronger and like secure. And now I've never been more in love with the person I am today. And that would have not happened if I wouldn't have gone through that season. So I look back at it with freaking heart eyes and rose-colored glasses because that moment standing in front of that dang closet and like crying, like that set my life. Like my life changed, you know? So it's in these moments, like if you can have that in the back of your head, like, dang, I am in the trenches right now to know like that is the time where you need to buckle down and be like, okay, what's next? Like what is out there? Like what can I do next? And to really just give yourself time to process because I guarantee in 10 years you're going to look back and be like, that's my moment. Like that was it. That's where I was born. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just love it. Anyways.
It's a
emo.
very exciting time.
It's the robot, dude.
It's the robot.
The robot set me off.
Yeah. All that to say, we're very excited for you and this new chapter where you get to rebuild yourself and become whoever you want to become and focus on whatever you want to focus on. This is going to be such a great time in your life filled with growth and love. And if you want to ever update us
Yes, please,
in like 6
please.
months to a year on how you're doing and what's happened since then, would love. No pressure, but
Yeah.
would love.
Dude, you're going to thrive. Like, I have such a good feeling about what's to come in your life. And I really hope you let yourself feel sad and mad and like don't run from it. But I'm so excited to see just like how you're just going to freaking thrive.
Yeah. Oh,
so I'm so excited for you.
I don't know if you're watching this or if this is even available in Denmark, but Apple TV has a show called Shrinking.
Yes.
And they're all therapists. And
So
something they say is let yourself mourn for 15 minutes. Pick like your sappiest, saddest song. Theirs was Phoebe Bridgers, which is like really is one of the best songs.
When he's like, damn you, Phoebe Bridgers.
It was so good. But he like puts or him and his daughter like both put on like the saddest song and let themselves grieve and mourn and process it. And then once the song's done, they turn off the song. They like wipe their tears and get on with their life. And I think that is one of the most like beautiful, easy like activities that you can actively do to grow and get better and process mourning. A 2.5-year relationship is a long time. So I highly recommend you do that. I think that was such a beautiful
and I love
tool.
that it's like when you feel sad, then like
do it. Lean
stop
into
what
it.
you're doing, sit down, let it all out, and then get up and move on. And maybe you have to do 4 sessions of 15 minutes a day at first. Like,
maybe you're in the grocery store, you have to run to the bathroom, or you have to like go to your car during work and like cry.
In Target, people come in and you're just like
listening to Phoebe Bridgers.
Oh my God. And you're just like sobbing, you know?
Yeah. Do what you got to do and get over him because there's going to be more hymns.
Oh, this is your like moment of trajectory going up and he's gonna go way down.
Yeah.
So not that you thrive off someone being miserable, but it's nice to know like, oh, I'm gonna be good.
Yeah, me and Taryne were talking last night during our super fun sleepover that led to the best day about like all of the guys I've dated and how down bad I was over the stupidest guys. And how like horrible it was. And I look back and I'm like embarrassed of like how hung up I was on them. But this is life. And you look back and you go, yep, that was stupid, but I learned so much.
Yeah.
And I love that I'm not that girl anymore, you know?
Oh my God, absolutely. Every time you ended it with any of those weirdos, I would just look at you and be like, just want to check in. You do
see.
Are we forgetting who we are?
Yeah.
Are you forgetting that like you're 1,000 levels up? Like he was lucky to be with you.
Yeah.
Like for sure cry about it, but like let's do a self check. Cause like he was really weird, Ash. Like he was not cute.
It was so imperative, and hopefully your girlfriends are doing that for you too.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, this was a great episode.
I love this episode.
This was a great episode. This is literally one of the best we've done in a while.
Love it.
So again, guys, I'm gonna do it because this is just me. We need you guys. If you have a story that you want to share, serious, funny, lighthearted, work-related, relationship-related, it literally does not matter. We take them all. Write it in because y'all give us the content we need to keep going forward.
Yes. Amen to that.
Be sure to shop our totes. Be sure to follow us on socials. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Ashley, don't.
Dad joke time.
Yeah.
I would never.
Back off.
I would never. I was waiting for you to say your part.
Back off. You said we'll talk to you soon. You were ending.
You're right.
I'll go fast. What did the horse say after it tripped? Help. I've fallen and I can't giddy up.
Oh, God.
But thanks for joining us. Good night, everyone. We love you.
Talk to you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.